Hi, Sandra here, the Misophonia therapist. And in today's video, I'm just going to reflect a little on something a client of mine told me that she was advised to say to a potential therapist in the event that she decided to reach out for help. And I can't remember who, and it doesn't really matter that much who advised her of this, but it just made me think, this is quite interesting. And it might have been her doctor. So anyway, to cut a long story short, the client was advised to not mention anger to a potential therapist. I think it was the doctor was trying to encourage her to go for CBT. And the doctor said, talk about how sad you feel, talk about emotional distress, talk about how much your misophonia is affecting you, but don't mention anger. Because a lot of therapists will just switch off if you talk about anger. Anger isn't something that therapists feel comfortable with. And I was quite surprised at this, because I often do wonder how much suppressed anger may lie at the root of some people when they experience misophonia. And this particular client was very angry. She felt hopeless. She felt trapped in this situation that she had absolutely no control over. And I just wanted to reflect a little on the expression of anger. So anger is quite a taboo emotion. We don't like to talk about it much. We certainly often don't feel comfortable expressing it. And I think this probably affects women maybe more than men. I could be wrong. Please let me know what you think. But I do believe, just from noticing, from observing, that women are often not encouraged to express it. And when we do, we are judged harshly, more harshly. And indeed, if you are a woman and you have ever even just been assertive, not even angry, just assertive, I wonder whether you may have just been branded difficult or bossy. So it's really not surprising that a lot of women shy away from expressing anger or even asserting themselves in case they get labeled as being difficult. So I do realize that it is a bit of a sweeping statement, of course. The point of this video is not really meant to be to stir up controversy. So what I'm really trying to say is, yes, society may frown upon the expression of anger, especially if you are female, especially if you are really needing to tell somebody how angry you are with them about a situation and you simply feel completely unable to express it. Maybe things are changing a little now, I don't know. But what I would say is, if you are struggling and you feel angry, then I think it is absolutely so unhealthy to keep that trapped within. So if you give yourself permission to express anger and release anger, it can really help to shift quite harmful energy in your body and mind. And I do believe that anger that is not properly expressed can cause harm in the body and the mind. And of course, maybe exacerbating your symptoms of misophonia. Now, it isn't always obvious what we're angry about. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And of course, anger can be misdirected. And it's often quite difficult when you think about how to express it. Are you going to upset that person? The trouble is, if you don't express your anger in a healthy, productive way, what tends to happen is you just continue to have those angry thoughts, resentment builds up, and over time, it can be a little bit like a powder keg. So when something does act a little bit like the straw that broke the camel's back, all of a sudden there is a massive explosion, and it often isn't pretty. So can you possibly find a way of getting this anger out in a way that is not destructive and will help you release it? Why can't we tell somebody we're angry? Why is it such a taboo emotion? Women often are socialized, or more likely to be socialized, into being nice, helpful, and I think this is part of the problem. And it is okay to say that you are royally pissed off with somebody. And sometimes even by acknowledging that can create a bit of mental space for you. And you may be able to then calmly evaluate a situation without the lens of fury and resentment. Anger doesn't have to be destructive. And it's okay for you to say that you are angry. It is okay if you go to see a therapist to talk about how angry you are. There is nothing to feel ashamed about. Anger often masks emotional pain. When you delve into the anger and find out what lies beneath, usually it is pain. And pain causes a lot of problems when it is not healed properly. And if you are totally honest with yourself, are you angry? What are you angry about? And how can it be released? How can you find an outlet that is not destructive? Perhaps you're trapped in a situation that's making you unhappy. Maybe somebody really is making you angry. Maybe it's harming you in some way, but you don't have to put up with it. So, of course, it's not always easy, and I'm not suggesting that you should put yourself in a situation where your well-being or safety may be compromised. But the point I'm making with this video is negotiating tricky emotions, especially something as temperamental and fiery as feeling angry, can be hard. And if you do decide to ever talk to somebody, a therapist, then do not be afraid to say that you are angry. Just like any emotion, learn to find the source, release it before it grows into unmanageable, untamable beast. So I hope that was helpful, and as ever, do let me know what you think. Bye for now.